I am sure you want to block like the world's best volleyball players. You definitely want your block to be your weapon, and you also want to have a good or rather excellent blocking technique. And in this video I have important advice and simple exercises that every volleyball player should learn and master. But I also show you the mistakes you need to avoid if you want to block well. The exercises I'm going to show you today were regularly done in our national team and were also an integral part of our trainings in the Italian A1 series or Polish Plus Liga. And if some exercises are done by professional volleyball players, we should take inspiration from them. Moreover, these are simple exercises that can be done by any volleyball player, even a beginner. And simplicity is important. On the other hand, it's essential to perform these exercises with maximum concentration. You don't have to rush anywhere during them, and learn how to do them with correct technique so that you can do them practically blindly at any moment. So that these movements on block become your automatism, which you don't have to think about, and also you don't make the mistakes we often make when blocking. Of course, describing everything you should do on the block in one video is impossible. It's not just about maximum jump and putting your hands over the net when blocking. That's why I'm going to focus mainly on our footwork. I think that's the key. You all want to be good on the block. You want to block a lot of time the opponent's attacks. You are trying to block the line or diagonal, block well on a single block or on double block. But you won't be able to do all of that unless you have a great basic footwork. Footwork determines if you can even get into the spaces where you can block. I'll give you an example. If you jump 2 meters away from the antenna, but the attacker on the other side has the ball ideally set close to the antenna, you have no chance to block. You are in the wrong spot. Or if you bounce on the block and fly over the antenna, again, your hands have no chance to touch the ball on the block. Therefore, footwork is the first key if you want to think about successful blocking. But before we get to the drills, we first need to see what mistakes our feet make when blocking and what to avoid, because if you have a bad footwork, you can count on successful blocking. Jumping forward into the net is a mistake I often see in beginner or amateur volleyball players. Therefore, in order to jump high on the block, they naturally take a step forward and jump. It just means jumping forwards, which often ends up landing under the net or touching the net. And if you look at the professional volleyball players, they never take a step forward to jump higher when blocking. You too need to forget forward step and avoid this mistake. Also, many volleyball players jump on the block when their feet are side by side. Their shoes are practically touching on the bounce. Well, in volleyball, we keep our feet apart in almost all situations to keep our body balanced and to be able to react quickly to the ball. Therefore, feet side by side on the bounce on the block is a mistake and a situation where you won't have good balance and ultimately will prevent you from getting to maximum performance on the block in the long run. Or you may see the blocker's feet in a position when one foot is in front and the other is behind. And these players almost always have their feet in this position when they jump on the block. This is another bad habit that is not good. In addition, you often end up on the other side of the court, and that creates a risk of a possible injury to your ankle after landing on the leg of the attacking player. Also, if you learn to jump on the block with one foot in front, count on the fact that, for example, with your right foot in front of you, you can block decently in zone 4, but in zone 2 your blocks will not be a good quality. Landing sideways after a block is also a situation that is not correct and in my eyes is a mistake. If you are landing sideways, it means that you are bouncing and jumping sideways, that you are actually flying through the block and often find yourself behind the antenna, in places where no one is attacking anymore. If you fly through the block, don't count on much success. Only with middle blockers the situation is a little bit different. If they are moving to quick sets to outside hitters or opposite, they often don't have time to get their feet to the teammate and jump up for a double block, and have to bounce, fly and reach the block. But that is a higher level of blocking, which I'll get into in one of the upcoming videos. It's not just the elimination of these errors that we need to work on, but it's better if you don't learn those errors at all, or if you don't have to remove them. That's why it's important to learn the proper technique right from the start of your volleyball trainings. The basic technique is to jump on the block where you should have your feet slightly apart, about the width of your body. Keep your feet linearly side by side. Be approximately 1 foot away from the center line and the net. And if you are a middle blocker, your starting position is to have your legs slightly bent so you can react and jump quickly, much like a cougar when it prepares to jump. Also keep your arms raised, elbows in front of your body and palms around shoulder level. You don't have to go to gym, prepare a net or wait for a team training when you want to practice these basic block exercises. You can also do these exercises on your own without a coach at the wall. The wall has always been a great tool for me. I used to train at the wall myself. Now I spend time at the wall with my young volleyball players. And you can find more exercises like this one in my online course with 120 wall exercises. Now let's get to the exercises themselves. Again, I stress, technique is the most important. Don't rush through the exercises. You also don't have to jump every jump to the maximum. Rather focus on good footwork. We'll start with simple jumps on the block in one place. Keeping our feet apart, we are approximately a foot from the net. Slowly start jumping on the block. After each jump, we will stop our movements for approximately 1 second. We make sure we land the same way every time, so we don't jump forward or sideways. Just do 6 to 8 jumps in one set. After a short break, do another 2 sets. The second exercise is practicing the one-step shuffle block. Start at the antenna, jump, land, do a shuffle and jump again. We do this the entire length of the net. Watch that you don't fly on the block, that you bounce with your feet side by side, that you land with your feet slightly apart. Really take your time on every step. Once you've got it on the one side, do it on the other side. In my experience, most volleyball players will be better off doing this exercise on one side. We all have one dominant leg. That's why we need to do the exercise on both sides, so that we don't have trouble jumping to our worst side. I recommend doing at least 2 to 3 sets on each side along the net to the left and right. Now we are going to a similar exercise, specifically a simple swing block. The swing block is a more modern way of blocking and also more used in volleyball. Again, we start at the antenna, jump up and land. After landing, we twist our left leg out and take a long step with our right leg. We will rotate our body and legs to again bounce our feet side by side at shoulder width and execute another step. Continue along the length of the net. Also, for this exercise, I recommend doing 2 to 3 sets of the exercise on each side. Like I said, for blocking, the footwork is the first key if you want to be good on the block. If you follow these simple exercises and learn to do them correctly, you will soon find yourself that your block is much improved and you will become a better player. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.